Good morning, everyone. It's Carol at Big Cat Rescue, and today I'm here with Chitaro, the leopard. Chitaro was born in 1998, and he was rescued from a nasty little roadside zoo. And this is telling me my connection is weak, so hang tight. Alright, I hope that's a little bit better for you. And I wish I could get right up against the wire, but Chitaro is a scary, scary cat. Leopards can leap 20 feet, and he could be right here on the wall of the cage before I could move. Yeah, I see you good, and I see you sneaking over there. You sneaky leopard. Chitaro is the last leopard over here on what was called Leopard Island. At the sanctuary, we have a road that goes in a circle around a group of cages, and all of the leopards used to live in this central area. And the idea was that they would have this tunnel that you see over there that would take them out to the vacation rotation enclosure. And the vacation rotation enclosure is a 2.5 acre vacation area for the lions and tigers, but the Florida Wildlife Commission said leopards can't go out there where there's an open roof. So we built the funcation, which is much smaller. It's 22,000 square feet, but still, it's bigger than their home cage here. I'd say he probably has about 2,400 square feet as his home cage, maybe closer to 3,000. But so for all the leopards to go on vacation in the funcation, we have to move them all over into an area that used to be mostly bobcats and servals and caracals. So there's lots of cats getting moved around, but Chitaro's the last one over here, so hopefully he gets moved in the next couple of days, no later than Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, to that new area. And we're going to need to build a den for him. He'll have one of those dog dens, but he'll need a much better den than that over there, and my brother's going to be away, so it's going to take us a while to get that done, maybe another week to get that done. Hey Jen Johnson, hi Ruth, hey Gazella, hey Margie, hey Mia, hi Kim, hey Lorna, hey Calais. Sandra, he is beautiful, isn't he? Hi Vivica, always love to hear from you. Marlene, Alona, Catherine, Sandy, Nicole, Linda, Emma, Lisa, Kelly, Anamiek, Beth, Addie, oh my gosh, so many of you. Indrandi, Wendy, Lesgen, Rhonda, Monica Spires, hello Monica Spires, Melanie, Christine, Kate, Carlin, Terry, Sandra, Jenny, Luella, Miranda, Antoinette. Thank you everybody for joining us. Chitaro is being quite sweet here. He kind of has cheetah in his name. Everybody calls him Cheeto, and his real name is Chitaro. But I know that's going to make people ask, do you have cheetahs? And no, we do not have cheetah. If you go to bigcatrescue.org/cheetah-jaguar, you'll find out why there are almost never cheetah in private collections. People don't get them as pets frequently in the United States, so they don't end up in need of rescue, so they don't end up at sanctuaries. And jaguars, I'm not really sure why that is, that they don't end up in the pet trade. My guess is, if any of you have ever seen those videos of jaguars eating crocodiles, that's probably why. Hi Christine Harkins. I know, if he could purr, he'd be purring, but he's a leopard, so he can't purr. The biggest cat who can purr is a cougar, and cougars and leopards are about the same size, but they're built differently apparently, because cougars can purr and leopards cannot. Rhonda, thank you for posting that. There are 2 things we really need you to do. We're in 2 contests right now. I think one of them might end today. The votecats.com, we could win $5,000 there. That one doesn't end until October 6th, and you can vote every day until October 6th. And right now, the cats are losing to the dogs. We can't let that happen. The kittens have to win. So please go to votecats.com and vote for us every day. And then the other one is a promotion that's going on with Good World. And if you go up to Rhonda's post there, oh no, she's got two different things. Rhonda mentioned the Big Cat Act, and yeah, that's really important too. The Big Cat Act is how you can help us save these cats from being bred for life in prison because they don't belong in cages. And anybody from the U.S. can go to bigcatact.com, send a letter to your member of Congress. And if you're not from the U.S., you can go to catlaws.com. And there are other bills where it says everyone can sign. You can send those kinds of letters. You just can't send the one on Big Cat Act unless you have a member of Congress. And then the other contest is a little bit more difficult to explain. But if you go to bigcatrescue.org/updates, every day we post updates, and I have links there on how to participate in that contest. Essentially what you do is you sign up at Good World, and when you do, and it's free, when you do that, they give you $10 to give to us. So that's a great deal. Hey, Danielle from New York. Wendy, thank you for voting. He is beautiful, isn't he, Tabitha? Melanie, there's some really good videos of jaguars killing alligators or crocodiles, I don't know which, but big lizard-like animals. And it just shows how powerful their jaws are. They can bite right through turtle shells and through the tough skin of alligators and crocodiles. Laurie, lions cannot purr. Lions can roar. So lions, tigers, leopards, and jaguars, those guys can all roar, and cougars and smaller can purr. Cynthia, that is above my pay grade. I don't know why it is they can't purr. It has something to do with the way their throats are constructed. Somebody here will know that answer better than me, and maybe they can post a link. Yeah, Carol, I'm really glad he's relaxed because otherwise I couldn't stand this close to the cage. He's usually a little on the mischievous side, but it's the middle of the day. He's already had his meal, so it's cat nap time. Great, Kim. Thank you so much for posting that. So if you go to Kim Cunningham's post here in the comments, she's got the link to the Good World contest, and the way that works is we could win $1,000 from Good World, but also we get $10 from everybody who signs up. So yay, that's a great deal for the cats. And that contest we're in second place too. I don't know who's in first place ahead of us. Thank you, Rhonda, for posting the link to updates. And Roxandra posted the same link, just with a longer URL. Beth said it is crocodiles. Good to know. I know, I could watch him for hours too. Hey, Kelly from Indiana. Angelos, you're right. These guys, I think the leopards are the smartest of all of the cats out there. And it's just shameful that they're kept in cages, that they're bred for life in cages, because they're so intelligent and they should be free. The problem is, no cat who's born in a cage is ever going to be allowed to be set free, because he's native to India or to Africa, but he was born in the United States. So he can't be released in India or Africa because he's not native there, and he can't be released in the United States because leopards aren't native to the United States. So whenever you see people breeding these cats and playing with the cubs and doing all that kind of stuff and calling it conservation, it's not. It's just how those people make money or how those people feed their egos, and the cats end up suffering because as soon as they're too big to be used as pay-to-play props, they end up being warehoused or bred for more generations of cats in cages, or sometimes even worse, sold into canned hunts where they're shot in a cage or cut up for their parts. So it's just a bad thing all around, and I absolutely agree we should save these guys in the wild, but the only way to do that is to save them in the wild, not to breed them for life in prison. we've been doing, it's about 89 degrees today, Renee. We've been doing a lot of planning today and the last few days about our Big Cat Walkabout. The way that people can visit the sanctuary at Big Cat Rescue is only on guided tours. So at 3 o'clock every day we have a tour, and we send groups out in groups of about 20 to 25 people with a tour guide who tells the stories of the cats and a backup to make sure everybody stays in their little tour. And it takes about an hour and a half to walk around the sanctuary. But what we hear from people all the time is that they want to stand there, they want to take pictures of the cats, they want to commune with the cats, they want to find their favorite cat and really get to know that cat. And we're not set up like a zoo where people can just wander around. So one day a year we call in the police to help us police the whole thing, and all of our volunteers, all of our staff members, usually all of their family members, and we post them like every few feet all the way around the sanctuary so that people can't do anything stupid or get themselves hurt, and also so they don't annoy the cats. And then we let them walk around for like 3 hours. And so this year that's going to be on October 1st. It's $25 per person. And every year when we do that, every single dollar that we raise that day, all of the money that we sell, all the money that we raise in the gift shop, all of the ticket sales, we're going to be doing a thing where if you have gift cards, like I had 2 gift cards in my purse that I was never going to use, so I donated them. So we're going to ask people to donate those gift cards. And all of that money that we raise goes to saving the cats in the wild. And we have 5 projects in the wild that we're funding. And the way it'll work is when you come, you get like 25 big cat bucks or 25 cat caches or whatever we're going to call that thing. And you go around throughout the sanctuary, and there will be 5 tables. Each one will tell you all about that conservation project that we're funding in the wild. And you can choose from your ticket price. You've already paid it, the $25, so you get $25 worth of those tickets that you can then donate to the cause that you like the most. So if you go to bigcarescue.org/safari-days, you'll find out all the information about the walkabout on October 1st, and you can find out about all of the projects that we're going to fund from the money that's being raised from that. Sandy Jumanji is not doing well. Jamie was so worried about him yesterday because he was just acting really lethargic, and the vet thought maybe he had had a seizure. Sometimes after anesthesia, these guys just don't deal with anesthesia well when they get older, and he's 20 years old. So he thinks maybe he had a seizure related to the anesthesia, and so we brought him back into the cat hospital and pumped him full of sub-Q fluids, and he's sleeping in there peacefully now. If you go to bigcatrescue.org/CAMS, C-A-M-S, you can find the recovery room camera that's on him and check in on him and see how he's doing. But Jamie and I were discussing today, you know, should we put him back outside? And because, you know, he hates being in that tiny little cage, but it's so hot out, it's 89 degrees, and he's already not dealing with the heat well, so we don't know what to do. Nala, on the other hand, Sandy, is doing fabulous. She's acting like nothing ever happened. What is over there that's so interesting, Chitaro? If I walk around. Nala broke her leg, and Dr. Justin said it, and the very next day she was walking around on it and acting like nothing was wrong. She's got a cone on her head so that she doesn't chew her stitches out, but aside from that, she seems quite content to be in the air conditioning and be getting all the extra attention and treats. We hate that she has to be kept in a small cage, but that bone's got to heal, and we can't have her out there running around and jumping like she did to break it. So she's got to be kept inside. Carol, you are not kidding. This is the most mischievous leopard in the whole property. Kim, I don't know how Monty's doing. I know he went home with Chelsea, and my guess is he's being spoiled rotten. Yeah, Lynn's right. I mean, as mischievous as he is, and the fact that Chitaro could easily kill some animals, He doesn't know how to hunt. He doesn't know how to save something for later and not kill everything in the entire place. And he's really old. In fact, he was born in 1998, so that makes him 18. Mary Jo, Big Cat Rescue, is in Tampa, Florida. And Elizabeth, yes, they can sleep 20 hours a day. I know, Cynthia. I mean, those pictures and videos that you see all over YouTube of people playing with the cubs, I mean, that just looks so cute until you know what's going to happen to them as soon as they're too big to play with anymore. And then it's heartbreaking to see those images. Yeah, Lynn, that would be a long drive just for that one-day event. Joanne, there are what they call species survival plans. Those are carried out by the zoos that are accredited by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. And at least those cats are pedigreed. They can trace them back to the wild. But those cats are never going to go free. Nobody's ever going to turn them loose in the wild. And nobody's ever going to turn their babies loose in the wild or their grandbabies loose in the wild. The only way that you're ever going to save wild cats in the wild is to save their habitat. And so that's why we're trying to save habitat with the funds that we raise from the walkabout on October 1st, and why we love for people to donate to groups like Panthera that is really saving habitat and corridors and the things necessary to protect these guys in the wild. For many, many years, zoos have said the reason they exist is so that they make people care enough about these animals so that they will donate to habitat conservation. But that's not happening, and the cats are being completely wiped out. In the next 5 years, tigers could be completely wiped out of the wild. So 200 years of raising cats in cages hasn't fixed that problem and may have even exacerbated it, because if people can pay their $10, or here it's $30, come see a cat in a cage, then why are they ever going to give to save a cat they're never going to see in the wild? And so that's why we feel like we need to end the captivity of these animals, so that the only way people can see them is in the wild, so that they'll protect them in the wild where they really belong. Laurie, they do have favorite types of toys. This is a big favorite, and I'm not sure where it comes from. Ooh, I'm zoomed way too in. It's a big ball with a ball inside. I don't know if you can see the ball inside, but they like that because it rolls around and it makes noise, and they find that very interesting. They like those kinds of balls. They're about the size of a bowling ball. And the tigers have big balls like, well, that sounded rude, like elephants use, and those are called planet balls. We get all of our toys from Desert Plastics, but those big planet balls are like $250, and then the shipping is like $200 on top of that, so it's just ridiculously expensive. If you guys have kids, or even cats, you know that the cats and your kids like the boxes better than they like the toys. So big boxes are always a big favorite here. We just have to make sure they don't have staples and stuff in them that could hurt the cats. Rebecca's right. Ohio does have a school that uses a live mascot, and it's just a horrible practice that we would love to see put to an end. Catherine, I feel for you. I understand what you're saying, that you think that we're not going to protect enough habitat for these animals in the wild, but if I were a cat, I would rather not have my future generations bred for life in prison than to not exist at all. I can't imagine that if Chitaro had a choice, he would say, I would rather continue to have cubs that live boring lives like mine in a cage just so that people can see us, because they're not doing their job to protect the wild. I think it's a cop-out for people to take that attitude. And as long as we do take that attitude, and I'm not getting down on you, I mean, this has been a very common attitude from people, is that, well, we'll save them for life in cages because we may not save them in the wild. And as long as we have that kind of a backup plan, then we're never going to do the hard work necessary to protect them in the wild. So I think it's really, really necessary that people put their foot down and say, no, we don't want these guys in cages. We want them out there where they belong, doing their job in the wild, keeping our ecosystems healthy so that we have air to breathe, because without them, the herbivores eat all the trees and then we have no air. So, I mean, it's really important that these guys have their place in nature and that we do something right now to make sure they always do. And since it's kind of dark, I'm going to go for a walk here and see what else is going on. Oh, no kidding, Carol. Oklahoma is lousy with roadside zoos. Not a good idea, bird. I see my brother and Gail are working on something down here.
I think so. We have a candid camera.
Not so candid if you see it. I was trying to be candid.
All right, here, I'll hold that. You grab the squeezy.
And where's our
Hooks. What did I do with the hooks? Oh, you left here. You left it hanging. We left it hanging on the wall.
Okay.
What you guys doing?
We are replacing rope door pulleys with
nice.
cable to keep certain mischievous
Cougars
from chewing through.
I know who those are.
Do you?
Yeah, certain mischievous little boogers.
Mischievous boogers.
So let's go. Maybe we could go ahead and get the end on that one.
No, I wonder if
So we have 3 cages over here, and we're going to connect a 4th one, I think, that have been the vacation area for the leopards. So it goes way over there where you see that silver on the roof, and then past it to the left, and then it goes around the front there, way out to that rock den in the background, and then this platform up here, and then there's like 3 more cages going that way, and they're all connected together. And so the cougar cubs, those guys are not cubs, they're what, 12, 13 years old now, but they're gonna move over here, and they chew rope. So all of the door pulleys that we use are rope. So what they're having to do is go in and replace that with cable so that they don't chew the doors and make it fall on their heads. Christina, TJ's doing pretty well. People were saying this morning they think he's putting on a little bit of weight looking at him.
Just has to be enough to get the door open.
so.
Okay, so
you throw that
actually,
outside
yeah,
and
well, let
pull
me,
it through.
climb up here and push this
Coming
through.
up here behind Riza's enclosure. Lori, I don't know why you're not getting the newsletter. It only goes out once a month, and I haven't sent out September's yet. If you will send me an email at cat@bigcatrescue.org, I will double check and make sure that you're on the distribution list. You might have to check your spam folder and make sure that it's not going to spam. There's Riza way out there underneath her platform. Don't know if I can get a better view of her. I know, Sue, we're so happy that TJ's eating better. And I saw Hoover ate like 14 pounds yesterday, and he's had 6 already today, so that was very good news. Riza! Mickey is over here somewhere. Tracy, as soon as they get through renovating that cage and when we move Chitaro over, which should be in the next couple of days, then all the cougars will be over here together. You're gonna have all cougar neighbors, Mickey. All I see are your paws. I can see Mickey paws. Paula, if your husband builds fences, boy, he would fit right in here. We have a huge fence building project going on right now where we're building our new rehab, bobcat rehab area. Chuck and Jamie and I were out there this morning working with the workers who are putting that up. It's USA Fence. They have been really, really wonderful to us. Sorry, I'm slapping mosquitoes as I walk. This is Rise's cage that we're looking in here. Well, thank you for signing up and voting today, Julie. And if any of you are new, please like us and follow us so that you get notifications when these go live. Jill, I actually, when I hopped off my golf cart, I was looking for Sassy. I wanted to give everybody a Sassy update. She's eating fine, but I thought you guys might want to actually see her. She's doing great. We were really concerned after Rusty died that she might get super depressed, but she's eating well. Hey, Thomas from Tallahassee. There you can kind of see the different sizes in the toys. There's a little toy about the size of a bowling ball. And I don't know what they call that one. That's not the planet ball. The planet ball is way bigger than that. I see a squirrel right there hopping right up next to Risa. That's not a good idea, squirrel. There's a cougar under there. Don't go under there. Oh no! I think he just saw her. Not that she could catch him. Yes, I think Luana is on here answering questions as Big Cat Rescue, and a lot of times I'm walking around or I'm holding the camera so close to my face that I can't read the comments. So if I do miss anything, she'll try to answer you. And if I don't, just keep asking until somebody answers you. Yeah, she finally sees it. I can't believe he's coming back under there again. Can you guys see that? He must be like right behind that post. I saw him before I dug down here. Melissa, we don't have any contact with the big cats here, with any of our cats, whether they're lions, tigers, bobcats. Well, you guys are about to get a National Geographic moment here, I think. And there's a couple of reasons for it. One is it sends the worst possible message. So if I'm trying to say these guys don't belong in cages and I'm in there petting them and you're seeing me pet them, then maybe not you, but stupid people will think, that's cool. I want to pet one too. I want to have one as a pet. I want to pay to go pet one. And that's what drives all the abuse. So if I pet these guys and post images of that, I'm making a lot of really dumb people go out and do the very thing that's causing so much harm. So we're not going to do that here. We are absolutely never going to do that here. So we don't allow any contact. We're so adamant about it that if somebody gets caught touching a cat, they're thrown off the property and they're never allowed back in. And that includes everybody. The only time you'll ever see us with our hands on a cat is if we're doing something like a medical procedure where the cat has been sedated, or sometimes with the smaller cats, not cougars or any cat bigger than a cougar, but some of the servals and bobcats just will not go in the transport cage when we need to move them or take them into the hospital. So sometimes we have to go into their cage with nets, but you'll never see us putting our hands on the cats because it sends the wrong message. And it doesn't matter if we're saying the whole time these guys don't make good pets. People don't care about what you're saying. People care about what they're seeing. And if they're seeing somebody treating them like a pet, then they want to do that too. And these guys hate being in cages. If I were to open every cage here, every cat here would be gone in the morning. They do not want to be in these cages, despite what the bad guys tell you. Bethany, she's just so old and crippled. That's why she's not going after the squirrel. But I'm glad she's not. And I'm glad that she at least has that entertainment to be able to watch the squirrel and think about what she'd do to the squirrel if she could move that fast. Well, there's Diablo. Hi, Diablo. Diablo is up in the breezeway between his cages. A lot of our cages are really hard to tell how big they are because they're connected with these tunnels. So they're like habit trails all over the place. And sometimes the habit trails are along the tour path, like this one is. And other times they go back, like into the woods. So it's very hard to tell how big or how deep those cages are. Diablo's a hybrid, a Savannah cat hybrid. Yeah, that was me looking confused. Yeah, whenever somebody calls, it seems to freeze it up. Yes, Pam, we have a genet. The genet is the only animal here who is not a cat. Some people call them genet cats, and they're very cat-like as far as like their medical needs and their diet needs and such. They're in the weasel family, so they are like, you guys remember the story of Ricky Tikki Tavi? They're like that. Okay, now I'm on the side where Sassy is. We'll go for a walk around her enclosure and see if we can find her. Loop, hurry, you ask, how do the cats get affection? And there's a lot of ways. Sometimes our keepers will sit and read to them. And we have back scratchers, you know, those really long telescoping back scratchers. We use those to help some of the cats who need help with their grooming, because 20 some odd of our cats are over the age of 20, which is like ridiculously old. If you multiply that by 6, that's about what it would be in human years. And so some of those cats need help with their grooming, but I tell you what, vast majority of them, even when they need help, don't want us touching them. People will see an exotic cat in a cage rubbing up against the wire next to a keeper, and they're thinking, oh, they want to be petted. No, that's not what they're doing. They have scent glands in their cheeks, and they rub their cheeks against the wire to say, this is my space. You stay on your side, I'll stay on my side, thank you. So it's like with chimpanzees, people see a smiling chimp and they think, oh, look, it's happy. No, in chimpanzee talk, that is, I am scared out of my freaking mind. I see her feet. It's not that they're happy. So whenever we're looking at cats, we need to think about what it is that the cat is telling us in cat language, not in human language. Can you guys see her feet? I see you moving your feet. Can you hear me, old girl? And walk around her cage and get her from a different angle. Well, thank you, Carol. Lou Paris, I just answered your question, so if you weren't able to hear it, maybe, I'm so sorry, but maybe if you can play the thing over again when we're done. I talked about how these guys, oh dear, this cage is connected with so many tunnels, I gotta go further. I was talking about why they don't need affection in the way that we think of affection, like petting a cat or a dog. These guys don't want to be petted. And you know, they may put up with that when they're kittens, and most of the big cats that you see people posing with are under the age of 5 years old. Once they are 5, they are sexually mature, and after that, they want no part of us. So many pretty things back here. I love that, whatever that stuff is, it's growing on that root there. It's like a little, if you guys have ever seen bonsai trees, how they have the teeny tiny little leaves, that's what it looks like. It's very pretty. Beverly, the small cats, so cougars on down, go on vacation for a week at a time, and the big cats, lions, tigers, and, well, lions and tigers, go on vacation for 2 weeks at a time. And the reason they get longer vacations is because we have fewer lions and tigers, so that gives them more time that they can go out. Still don't think you guys can see her in there. I can see her. Yeah. You need a little light in there, girlfriend. But she's bright-eyed and watching what we're doing. Hey, Sassy. It's like it's too hot out there. I'm not coming out. Kelly, if you want to get our newsletters, go to bigcatrescue.org/join. Oh, well, Crystal, maybe you guys could see her in there. Looking at my screen, I couldn't see anything but black. I really want to go up there underneath Diablo, but I would know he would run, so I don't want him to have to get up. Khalid, we are at Big Cat Rescue in Tampa, Florida. You guys hear Nikita lion roaring? Those were the interns. They just got through with lunch. The Leopard Lounge over there is where they have lunch. And looks like they're all headed back to work. They're doing a cleanup project, looks like, in Desiree's enclosure. Desiree is a 3-legged serval, and we have to keep her cage trimmed down really nicely so that she can get around. Oh dear, sorry. I have to lock this gate, and I can't do it and hold the camera still. Dana, we have vacations for our cats, even though our enclosures are much larger than you would see at most zoos. Our bobcats have like 1,200 square feet each, which is bigger than my house. The lions have 1,800 to a couple acres each, or the lions and tigers rather. And so what we do is we have some really huge areas that are a vacation space, and the cats get to go out there one at a time, or if they have a family that they live with here. Very few of our cats like living with other cats, but the ones who do can all go out on vacation together. So the big cats can go in 2.5 acres, and they get there through these big tunnels, above ground tunnels that we've built, so that we can just open the door on their cage and let them walk through the tunnels out to the vacation area. The small cats go into a 22,000 square foot enclosure called the Funcation, and some of those cats can go by tunnels, and others we have to actually catch them at feeding time, put them in a transport crate and move them. But what we do whenever we do have to move a cat is we weigh them and give them a good looking over before they go out to make sure there aren't any medical issues that we need to deal with. Marie, you asked about Jumanji, and I saw that the page where I have all of the hospital cameras, I didn't have his updated. So if you go, I do now, but I just realized this morning it was the wrong address. So if you go to bigcatrescue.org/cams, C-A-M-S, then You'll find his webcam and can watch him in the hospital. He had to come back in because it looked like he may have had a seizure and he needed fluids again. He just wasn't doing well outside. So we brought him in, and we've been debating whether or not he can go back outside because he really hates being inside, but we just don't know if he's well enough to be outside. This is our cemetery. Every cat who's ever lived here is commemorated in these black marble plaques, and each one has a forever sponsor, and so each cat only has one sponsor. That sponsor pays $500, and that $500 is used to do the necropsy when they die, any samples that we have to send out or testing that we have to do, or sometimes we collaborate with universities that may be doing a study on bobcats or something, to see if there's anything that can be learned from their death. And then their bodies are cremated and they live inside the wall forevermore. This is where I want to be buried. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes children get on here and do silly things like that, as far as the person typing 10 over and over and over again. Mr. Lion, you have a lizard in your mouth. And we're back where we started. We're back with Chitaro. Chitaro, are you still napping? Of course you are. Did you guys know that? Leopard cubs can be born black or golden in the same litter. What usually survives in the wild is usually dependent on the habitat. So if they're born out in the plains of Africa, the golden cats like Chitaro would have a better hunting advantage and more of them would survive. And if they were born in a rainforest, maybe like in Asia, more of the black leopards might survive. You're cleaning your house watching me. That's funny, Connie. Helena, I don't know if Dr. Justin is coming today to look at Jumanji, but Jamie is Dr. Justin's wife, and Jumanji is her favorite cat here, so you can bet that he's getting blow-by-blow reports of how Jumanji is doing. Melissa, there are a lot of differences between jaguars and leopards, but the main one that you can see is that jaguars have a spot inside their rosettes. So those big round spots on their side, jaguars will have a spot inside almost all of those. Leopards may have one or two, but not a lot like jaguars. All right, well, this was fun. Thank you so much for being with me. I'm going to get back to work. Let you guys all get back to work. Again, if you're new, please like us, follow us, join our mailing list so that you hear about the cats and the new rescues. Go to bigcatrrescue.org/join. Devin, you just joined and here I'm leaving. Sorry. Bye.